Hi, if you're new here, my name is Anna, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Costa Rica trip with EF Ultimate Break. Before you go anywhere, I just want to let you know that I have a discount code with them, and it'll be linked down below in the description. And if you're a first-time traveler with EF, then this code will give you $100 off your first tour. Oh my gosh, that scared the crap out of me. So this is a full review of the Costa Rica trip. I go into accommodations, food, excursions, packing, money, and random tips. So if you want to skip around, all my chapters are up, so just go to where you want. But if you want the full in-depth review, I would recommend to stay through it because I go through everything. So Costa Rica was my first trip with EF Ultimate Break. I had seen one girl who I kind of knew from mutual friends had gone on a trip before, and I was like, I want to travel, and I had just started making money, but no one would come with me. Everyone would flake. So I was tired of waiting, and I just decided to book it. And I was tired of just wanting to travel and being afraid to go by myself. So group travel is a perfect solution for that, and I'm so happy that I went because it was for real a life-changing experience. So we're going to be going through the accommodations first. Keep in mind that I traveled in March 2022, so I think the accommodations, some of them have changed since then, so I don't know if you will be getting these hotels, but I figured I would throw them in there because EF changes hotels like constantly. First hotel was the Aroula Holiday Inn in San Jose. The second hotel was Hotel Destinos Arenal in La Fortuna. The third was Hotel El Atardecer in Monteverde. And the fourth was Amapola Resort in Jaco. The number of roommates for this trip, you only have one roommate, so pretty good. You get 2 beds in every room. The first hotel was the Aroula Holiday Inn in San Jose. It was a pretty basic hotel. You know, the rooms were 2 beds, white sheets, basic hotel bathroom, nothing out of the ordinary, so it was an easy change. The beds were pretty comfy. You know, I slept hard because we had like 5 hours of sleep because we had to get up so early the next day. I'd say cleanliness was 4.75 out of 5. You know, pretty good. Not impeccable. It's like a basic standard hotel clean kind of vibe. So overall rating, I'd give 4.5 out of 5. Took half a point off just because the drain in the shower was a little gross, but like, you know, whatever. Doesn't really matter. We're there for one night. Okay, so the second hotel was Hotel Destinos Arenal in La Fortuna, and it was next to a pizza restaurant that had $3 marks. $3 marks. Like, that was the best thing we'd heard all day after being on a bus. The food was pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the second day staying there, we were starving, and that pizza, I finished a whole pizza by myself. So like, cheap pizza, cheap margs, starving. Perfect combo. It was kind of like a motel more vibe. It was pretty rustic, not what I was expecting. You know, not the cleanest. There was a pretty cool pool in the back. It was kind of cold when we were there, so like we didn't get in, but we like chilled by the pool. The only thing was like the showers, when we were all showering at the same time, didn't get hot. The bed comfort rating, it was okay. It wasn't awful, it wasn't great, but it'll do. I was tired enough to just pass out both nights, so it was fine. So cleanliness rating, I give it a 4 out of 5. A little run down, and like there's a little mold in places, but you know, it was clean enough. Overall rating, I'd probably say 4 out of 5. I took off a few points just because the water temperature and pressure wasn't the best, but added them right back because of the $3 margs and phenomenal pizza that was literally steps away from our rooms. So the third hotel was in Monteverde, and it was Hotel El Atardecer. I'm not gonna lie, this hotel wasn't the best, and it was a B&B run by a family. At this place, they also offered pretty cheap laundry, so if anyone had laundry to do, you know, I think it was like $2, so pretty good. Biggest takeaway I had from this hotel was that there were a ton of bugs in the shower. Like, it was really gross. And the shower, it took a really long time to get hot, if it got hot, and the pressure was awful. It was like peeing on you, for real. There was a cool like sitting / game room on the second floor that we all like hung out and played Uno in one night, so that was really fun. That there was like a little spot for us to go that wasn't just in someone's room. The stars were incredible. We sat like on the little, I wouldn't call it a patio, but it was kind of just like in front of all the rooms. and we just like stared at the stars. I'm not even kidding, it was so crazy. Like, I've never seen stars like that before in my life. There was no AC, so it was like a little hot and steamy during the day, so you had to open your windows, but at night it was cold enough outside that you just did not need AC, so that's why they didn't have it. So this place was close to a bunch of like restaurants in town that you could walk to, and Monteverde was actually like my second favorite town that we visited, going out after dinner. Like, it was really fun. There's a really cool viewpoint right next to this hotel, and you pass it when you're on the bus, so just look out for it and then you can walk to it later. But I took some really crazy pictures. These beds were like honestly pretty hard. I could not really get comfortable, but eventually I was exhausted enough just to pass out after taking melatonin too, so you know, it was fine. Cleanliness, I probably give like a 2.5 out of 5. The shower was really nasty. I don't know if they can do anything about the bugs, but the beds were pretty clean. Like, the room was pretty clean itself, so not bad. So the hotel itself, I would probably give a 3 out of 5 because the game room was really fun and they served amazing food. This place, like this B&B, was all for the food, not for the accommodation. But I did take a few points off just because, you know, the shower was so gross. And the beds weren't the comfiest, but you know, the food made up for it. So not bad, not complaining. I am complaining, but I'm not trying to. So the fourth hotel was the Amapola Resort in Jaco, and this was by far the best place you're gonna stay. We had so much fun here, I'm not even gonna lie. I had an awesome pool, and I can't even tell you how good the pina coladas were from the pool bar. The bartender was so funny. We were all like friends with him by the end of it, and he kept making all of his pina coladas, and they were like blue, so it was like a little different. So if you go there, order a pina colada, please, for me. They also had like a game area where they had like air hockey tables, ping pong, and like a pool table, which we abused. Like, we played too much pool. That's all we did after we came back from going out. This place is also in a perfect location because it's really close to town. You can walk everywhere, you can walk to the beach. Like, we had a great time in Jaco. It was the best stop. So this bed cover rating, 10 out of 10. This was the comfiest bed on the whole trip, like way better than Holiday Inn. I fell asleep in 3 seconds on these beds, and I have insomnia, so like super comfortable. Cleanliness rating, 5 out of 5. Everything was super clean, the bathrooms, the beds, like I didn't find a stray hair anywhere. Overall, definitely giving this hotel 5 out of 5. It was close to everything we wanted to go to, close to the beach, close to town. We used the pool tables a lot, we used the pool a lot. We used other tables around the place to like play games because people brought card games and stuff. Like, we just had the best time here. I have heard some people complaining about this hotel. Maybe the ownership changed or something, but when we went, it was so fun. So if you're going to this hotel at Jaco, like, you'll have a great time. Okay, now we're gonna move on to excursions. So first I'm gonna go over all of the excursions that are on tour and included, and then I'm going to go over the excursions that are optional. So the first excursion you're gonna do is the Doka Coffee Plantation Tour. Overall, I would give the Doka Coffee Tour a 2 out of 5. You know, it was boring. Like, it was boring. The gift shop was cool, the butterfly place was cool, but would I ever go back? No. So the next thing you're gonna stop at is the La Paz waterfall. It's like a quick roadside stop. You just go take a few pictures, walk around to like under the waterfall. La Paz waterfall, 5 out of 5. Short, quick stop, you know, good Instagram moment. Take your pictures, take your videos. Easy. So the next thing you do is kayak at Lake Arenal. Kayaking, I give a 4 out of 5. Just because it was cold when we did it and we couldn't see the volcano. You know, it depends on weather, so who knows. If I could see the volcano, 5 out of 5. The next thing you do is go to Baldy Hot Springs. I don't know if they take you to this specific hot spring every single time, but we went to Baldy and there were so many pools. I was expecting like 2, maybe 3 pools, but there were a bunch. Like, there were slides and stuff, like water slides. I was not expecting all that. And there were like sports bars embedded into hot springs. It was super cool. My first time in a hot spring. The guide took us all the way up to the top, and we started in the hottest hot spring, and then you can make your way down and it gets cooler. So a bunch of us went on the water slides. And honestly, be cautious because these water slides are like not like American water slides. They hurt. I was in pain. On the other side of the slide I went on were like the super dangerous slides, the ones that like shoot straight down, and one girl went on that and I don't know, I think she like hit her head and she was like bleeding when she got back on the bus.
I don't know. I don't know if we should do that one.
But if you want to, go for it, I guess. The hot springs, 7 out of 5. You know, super fun. We had a great time there. You're there for a while. The hot springs felt amazing. After whitewater rafting, it was great. Next excursion is La Fortuna Waterfall. It's 500 steps down and then 500 steps back up later. There's like a pond side where you can't really see the falls, and then there's the plunge pool like right in front of the waterfall. And they tell you not to get too close because people can get sucked under if you're not the best swimmer, so you know, don't go too close. Also, you do this excursion at 8 a.m. None of us were ready to get in cold water at 8 a.m. And the rocks are super slippery like when you're trying to get in, so it's kind of like difficult. La Fortuna, I would give 5 out of 5. You know, people struggled coming back up those steps after, but it was so cool to see, once in a lifetime, amazing. The next excursion in Monteverde was the Santa Elena Cloud Forest. I originally thought, after seeing like all these billboards and signs, that we would be going on suspension bridges and stuff like that, but there were no suspension bridges and it was kind of just like a trail walk. I was kind of expecting it to be cooler. We didn't really see any animals, we just like heard birds. I thought we might like see monkeys or something, but probably 3 out of 5. I was expecting a little more. And I really wanted to go on a suspension bridge for some reason, and we just didn't do that, so I don't know, it was okay. So right after the cloud forest, you go ziplining, and the temperature changes drastically, so be prepared for that. I wore my rain jacket over my tank top and leggings to go ziplining in, so kind of have like something to take off when you go ziplining because you're gonna be hot. I think there was like, I want to say 6 or 7 lines, like it was pretty substantial. And all of them were pretty long. Like at one point, one was so long that like 2 people have to go together just so you have enough weight to get across. And the last line, there was an amazing viewpoint like at the top of a mountain where you can see everything and all the hills and cows around you. And you can just sit there for as long as you want until you go. And I went at the end because I wanted to sit there as long as possible. I didn't expect all of the walking you would do in between lines. Like most of them was just towers, but the last one you have to walk a little bit to get up that hill. Ziplining, 10 out of 5. It was so fun. I had a great time. The view of the top, phenomenal. You know, the lines super fast, and like I love adrenaline and stuff, so it was great. So the last included excursion is Manuel Antonio National Park. It was so fun, so beautiful. We saw sloths. We went to different beaches. We saw capuchin monkeys. Literally, as soon as you enter the gates, you see capuchin monkeys. They're right in front of your face. It was so cool. I wanted to see that since I watched Night at the Museum. Once you get to the beach, they had 2 sides. Like one, our guide said, was a little rougher, the ocean. And then there's a calm side. I thought that the calm side was even prettier than the rough side, so I was like, why go to the rough side, you know? And we were there maybe an hour. The ocean was awesome, perfect temperature. I just felt like Manuel Antonio was one of the best stops we had for sure. Manuel Antonio, 100 out of 5. It was that beautiful. We had a great time. Like, it was so fun to just be at the beach with your friends. I loved it. Now we're at the optional portion of this excursion review. The first optional excursion was whitewater rafting. It cost $40, which I think was pretty cheap, honestly, for what you get out of it. And all the prices are in USD, by the way. I thought whitewater rafting was so fun. Our guide was amazing, but it took like a good bit of strength to do it. So I will say, like, if you're not looking for an arm workout that day, if you don't want to like expend a little energy, don't go. You go pretty fast on the rapids. I would say probably class 3. It was pretty fast, but not to the point where it was like scary. But definitely to get your like adrenaline up, and I was having a good time. So I will say, get water shoes. Bring water shoes. Because I did not bring water shoes, and I thought, oh, my rubber Birkenstocks will be fine. You know, I'll be able to wear those. If they don't have an ankle support, ankle strap, you cannot wear them. Tabos are good, Chacos are good, regular water shoes that will stay on are good, but you cannot wear any like sandal that is just gonna fall off because you are shifting around in that boat. I had to wear my sneakers. Oh my gosh, they smelled like Don't do it. Don't make the mistake I made. Whitewater rafting, 5 out of 5. It was super fun. And even though it did start kind of raining during it, I wasn't bothered. And they give you free time to like swim at one point and then get back on the raft. And it was just fun. And I feel like we really bonded with our group. Okay, so the second optional excursion is the Monteverde night hike. It's only $25. So I was like, why not? And there were only 3 optional excursions. So I was like, why not do them all? Whatever. Yeah, it wasn't worth it. It just was not worth it. I was cold, first of all. You need like a jacket for Monteverde and like pants because I was freezing and it was like windy. A night hike, I'd say it was like 40 minutes. Maybe it wasn't that long. And you just split up into groups of 5 and you go around and like get your flashlights. All the groups go on like different paths, so you have no idea what you're gonna see versus another group. We ended up luckily seeing a sloth, but before that, I don't know, we just saw like ants and like bugs. You know, I don't really care that much. We ended up fighting sloth and our guide like called it in on the radio, and then everyone else started flooding over after. And this group, like, it wasn't one of our groups, but there were like these British people and they were like literally shoving us out of the way to see the sloth. And I just thought that was like really rude. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of over this. The only other thing I remember that we saw was like a tarantula at the end. Like, I don't know, big whoop. The night hike, I would say 1 out of 5. Unless you're dying to see a sloth or really like bugs, I'd say save your dinner money and just don't go because I don't know, it just was not worth it for me. There was a girl and like a few other people who booked it again. So, you know, to each their own. If you're into that, I'm sure you'll have a good time. Also, it isn't guaranteed that you're gonna see a sloth if you go on this. So we saw a sloth at Manuel Antonio as well, so I don't know. The third and final optional excursion is the catamaran cruise. It's $75 USD, but it is 100% worth it. Do it. It was the best excursion on this tour. This was the best way to end the trip. You're all in Hucko and all of you are best friends by now. You have your people. You're all on a booze cruise, essentially. And everyone gets like 3 free drinks and they give you like a wristband to mark them off so you can't cheat unless someone's sober and they want to give you your drinks, which did happen. It's like a mega catamaran. Like, it was so big. It had slides off the back. It had like nets that you could lay on at the front. I had never been on a boat like that before in my life. When you're going to the dock point, everyone gets their drinks, they're playing music, you're just like chilling on the boat, people are taking pictures, you're going to the top deck and like hanging out until you get to the first dock. There's like also hot tubs, I think. I don't know if they're actually hot or just tubs. When you dock, you have the chance to jump off the top of the boat, which we did and it was super fun, or you can go off their slides off the back of the boat, and I will say people got hurt. Like, it really hurt some girls. The slides are like super shallow and they're really small, so like shoots you out into the ocean. You like skim on the ocean until you slap into the water, and like people's hurt so bad after this, I'm not gonna lie. I'm giving you the warning. Like, decide if you want to do it or not. Jumping off the boat is fun though, so you should do that. You also have the chance to go snorkeling. You come back on, wash yourself off, and then you get free food, so you get dinner on the boat. It was decent. It wasn't great, but it filled my stomach with something other than alcohol, so whatever. The catamaran, 10 out of 5. Definitely go. This is a must-do. Have fun with your friends on a booze cruise, unless that doesn't sound like fun for you. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about tour director additions on the tour, and these are excursions that just my tour director added. I had Priscilla. Every tour director is different. Each of one of them has different connects, so it's not guaranteed that you'll get these, but I just figured I'd put them in. So our first optional excursion was right before whitewater rafting, and it was a pineapple tour. I think it was like $20. The only thing you had to do was pay cash. I'd give it a 4 out of 5, this pineapple tour. It was entertaining. Our guide, Michael, was really entertaining. We did get a lot of free pineapple and he showed us how to cut it with a machete, and that was really cool to watch. The pineapple was really good. Like, it was for sure the best pineapple I've ever had in my life. I don't know if I'm ever gonna top it. If you love pineapple, go on this. And you also get a free pina colada at the end. It was a kind of a heavy-handed pour. We're drinking at 9 a.m., whatever. Our tour director surprised us after ziplining in Monteverde, and she surprised us with a dance lesson. This was literally my worst nightmare, so my roommate and I ran into our room and hid during the whole lesson because I have a fear of dancing now because I was scarred from it when I was little, so. But we were like hiding in the shower taking videos of everyone through our window. It was hilarious. And then we ended up taking naps and then sneaking out early to go take pictures at this lookout, which was pretty sick. I'd say the time was very well spent. And this dance lesson was kind of long. It was like over an hour. But the dance lesson was free, so it was just like a little surprise she had in store for us, which was nice. When you go to Playa Montas, our tour director gave us the option to add paddleboarding. I'm pretty sure we had to pay for it. I can't remember, so correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like it was like $15, so it was really cheap, and most of us decided to just pay for it and go. It might have been free though. I really don't remember. They split us into 2 groups. I chose the second group so I could go explore the water and the beach first. This beach, Playa Montas, is also connected to Playa Blanca, which is way better of a beach. Like the water was more choppy, so I understand why the paddleboarding was at the other beach. But if you're not paddleboarding, go to Playa Blanca because it was gorgeous. The other beach is just way nicer, and there's like a bunch of resorts over there and like caves and stuff. It was just cool to explore. I did do paddleboarding as well. Like me and my friends went out as far as we could and then came back, and then all the beginners were like still going around in circles with the guide, but we just like kind of came in early and then went over to the other beach again. So paddleboarding, I'd probably give a 2 out of 5. If it does cost money, I would save the money for dinner. Unless you have never been paddleboarding before, it might be fun. From someone who's been a bunch of times, I'd say it wasn't worth it for me. Okay, so the last thing our tour director offered was an alligator tour. This was the last morning in Jaco. I opted to do something else, so I didn't do this tour. I think it was probably like 20 bucks. It wouldn't be over that in price, but I just thought I would throw it out there that that's what she offered. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about independent activities. So what I did instead of the alligator tour on our last morning in Jaco was a surfing lesson. I'd always wanted to do a surfing lesson. In Costa Rica, I felt like it was the perfect place. Our tour guide hooked us up with the owner of the Surf Factory, which is a shop that's like a couple minutes walk, so you can totally find it in town if your tour guide doesn't know the owner. We did the surf lesson for $60 for a 2-hour surf lesson, and it was $60 USD, and we just Venmo'd the guy and it was all good. I think like 7 or 8 of us did this lesson. They first taught you just how to stand on the board and then just threw us in the water and we got started. I would say they did a great job because all of us ended up standing up at some point, even if we fell off eventually. There was also an option to get videos and photos from a photographer at the very end, and I think it was like $30 each after we all split, so it was kind of expensive at the beginning, but we all ended up getting the photos, so it was pretty cool and I'd say worth it. So if you want to try surfing, definitely hit up Surf Factory. You can just walk down into town and you'll see it. Okay, now we're moving on to food. Now we're gonna talk about where I ate while not with the group and where I ate independently. So the first place was called Treehouse in Monteverde. It was so cool. We saw it when we were walking through town the day before, and it's literally like a restaurant in a tree. Obviously the name Treehouse. You could get drinks there, you could eat there, and you literally go up into the tree, and I don't know, I've never seen anything like it. I don't know if other people have, but I thought it was really cool. So we got drinks there and they were a little expensive. I think it was like $10 or $13. You know, it's not terrible for the US, but I wish it was cheaper. It was really cool to like have drinks in a tree, so definitely go there. The last place is called Tsunami Sushi in Jaco. Not the best sushi I've ever had in my life, but really good for Costa Rica. Way better than I was expecting. It was our friend's birthday the first night we got there, and she wanted to get sushi, so we all went to the place that our tour director had recommended. And luckily when we got there, they said that it was a buy one roll get one free night, which was, rolls were also only like $13 US. Like, that's pretty good, you know? That's pretty cheap. Definitely recommend. I think their buy one get one was like a Wednesday night, something like that, but just go up and check. Also, if you do go to Tsunami Sushi, there is a churro cart in front of Tsunami Sushi. Tsunami Sushi, you have to walk up the stairs on the second level, but it's a giant building with like a bunch of other shops and whatever. In front of that, there's a churro cart, and I think it has weird hours. It might open at like noon to like, I don't know, 5. Anyway, if you're there during the day, go get churros. They are like $2 churros, and they're like really big. I can't even say how big they are with my hands, but they're really big churros. They're fire. If you want a snack, go get churros for sure. Okay, so now we're on the money section of this video. When I went in March 2022, the conversion rate was $1 equals 584 colones or something like that. But the exchange rate is not fixed, so it might be different depending on when you go. So my budget breakdown, I had $300 spent on food, $25 on souvenirs. I'm not a big souvenir girl, so if anyone is, budget more. So I don't buy that many souvenirs on trips, but for some reason I saw this hat and I like really wanted it. Me and my friend bought these matching hats, so now I'm probably gonna buy a hat from every country I go to. My tip was $65. Service fees were $20, and I'll explain that in a second. Extra excursions were $95 in total, including the $60 surfing lesson. So honestly not bad besides that. Overall amount spent was $505. I don't think that's too bad, honestly, for a 10-day trip especially. So the reason I had $20 worth of service charges was because I only had my debit card. I didn't have like an international credit card at the time, so I just used my debit card everywhere. So I would recommend is that you get an international credit card so you don't have to deal with the service fees at every establishment. You'll save $20 if not more, or just pay in cash if you want. But card is accepted pretty much everywhere in Costa Rica, which was great. You do need about, I would say, $100 worth of cash for the extra excursions that your tour director offers, and for the tip at the end. They do recommend that you give about $60 to your tour guide and then $5 to $10 for your bus driver. I followed by those rules because I thought she was great. So for packing, extra essentials that I found out that I needed after the fact, I was already on the tour. What I wish I would have brought was water shoes, like either Chacos, Tevas, or just basic water shoes you can get from Amazon, but you need something if you're going whitewater rafting. Also bring like dry fit shorts because you don't want to be like in a bikini with your like bare ass. So definitely bring something to wear unless you want to be like naked on the raft, which I don't recommend. So I also forgot a towel, which was great. You definitely need a towel for this trip. I bought one like our first night in La Fortuna, so I had like a cheap, it wasn't even that cheap though, it was like over $10 for this crap towel, so I wish I would have just brought one from home. But the good thing about buying one there is that I could leave it and like throw it away because it smelled terrible. I would also say an essential is a wet to dry bag for wet swimsuits. You do a lot of like getting on and off the bus for excursions, and you're not gonna necessarily be going to a hotel anytime soon, so you're gonna want like something to put your bathing suit in that isn't gonna get all the rest of your stuff wet. You definitely need sneakers. You're gonna be going on walks. I wouldn't say hiking boots are necessary unless you like really need the support. Like I was totally fine in sneakers the whole time. A rain jacket, even if it's not rainy season, I still brought mine and I was glad I had it. It did rain a little bit, so might as well. You can roll it up really small, just bring it. My last essential is sunscreen. I burned, everyone burned. Like you need to bring sunscreen on this tour. Doesn't necessarily need to be reef safe because there aren't that many reefs. Definitely bring sunscreen because you will be in the sun. As far as a clothes breakdown, I'm gonna put my list somewhere. I would say like 4 activewear fits. Like you want to have activewear. It's a very active tour. You're gonna be sweating. You don't want to be wearing like jeans or anything cute. Like you're gonna want to be wearing Nike shorts and like a tank top. I personally brought way too many swimsuits. Not upset about like overpacking because I love options. If you want options and you're like me, I would say bring like 6 swimsuits. It's a safe number because if you want different Instagram pictures for all of them, you want different swimsuits, bring around 6. If you don't care, bring like 2, 3. But there's a lot of water activities, so I wanted to be prepared. Definitely bring one warmer like hoodie or jacket type of thing because the bus is cold. I personally get cold on planes, so I wanted it for that. But Monteverde is very cold at night, and if it was windy like it was when I was there, you're gonna want that jacket. Definitely bring like 1 pair of active pants, like joggers, or if you want to just bring leggings, that's cool too. Bring like a few pairs. Definitely have those ready when you're going to like Monteverde and you're gonna be out at night. Some people forgot this, but like when you get to Jaco, you know, like you don't need activewear anymore. It's like cute fits at night when you go out. So definitely bring like 3 cuter outfits that you're gonna want if you're gonna go to like the bars and stuff, or like their clubs, so just have those. If you want to go to dinner, that's cool too. Just have a few cute outfit options that you can mix and match. I will go over this really fast just because I thought people might want to know. So the only method of transportation you're using in Costa Rica is a bus. You're on a tour bus. That bus is your second home. Like, you're on that thing all the time. They're pretty long drives. I would say the longest was 4 hours or something like that. It just feels longer when you're on there all the time, you know what I mean? I took many a nap on that bus. It was a really comfortable bus. I felt super safe. The roads were pretty crazy, like they're super windy. I had never experienced roads like that before, but our bus driver handled it super well. He knew what he was doing. He was experienced. So I will say, if you get motion sick, bring Dramamine, because some people that were prone to motion sickness did get like a little sick on the bus because the roads are really windy, so pack that if you need it. Okay, now we're gonna talk about some random tips I have. The first one is kind of a disclaimer. You don't flush your toilet paper in Costa Rica. I was surprised when our tour director first told us that you're not supposed to flush the toilet paper because it messes with their drain systems. You throw it away in a basket, so be prepared for that. After you check out of the hotel in San Jose, the 2 next hotels, I'm pretty sure you have to throw away your toilet paper instead of throwing it in the toilet. My other tips had to do with money, but I covered that earlier. But my last one is that you need to bring shampoo and conditioner for this, because the hotels, like, not all of them had shampoo and conditioner. Most of them just had like body soap. It was like cheap hand soap, but it was body soap. So like, if you want your products, bring them, because they did not have shampoo and conditioner, and I had to keep asking my roommate and I felt bad. Okay, we made it to the end of the video. My overall rating for this trip, 5 out of 5 stars for sure. This was my favorite trip that I've been on so far. I'm filming this video really late, but I just went to Belize and I loved Costa Rica a lot more than that trip. I know they're pretty similar and a lot of people compare them, so I just want to put that out there. Like, I loved the Costa Rica trip and my group was also phenomenal. That also kind of helped, but I just think it was way better than the Belize trip, to be honest. Just my personal opinion. That's pretty much all the information I had. I know it was kind of a lot, but if you're hesitant about still booking this trip, go for it. I promise you'll have an amazing time. I had the best first experience with EF on this trip. I had no idea what to expect and I just booked it, and best decision ever. I will continuously travel with EF. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below, or you can DM me on my Instagram, Anna Richter. Also, you can get inspo if you want to see photos there. Okay, I guess that's it.